Hi, today we're making tempura. For our tempura today we're using broccoli, zucchini, carrot, mushrooms, sweet potatoes, onions, and I'm going to experiment around with green onions. Besides rice, we're going to have soba noodles as a side dish. Soba noodles are Japanese buckwheat noodles. Now we're going to make the tempura batter. For the batter, we use half a cup of cornstarch, half a cup of flour, and a half a teaspoon of baking powder. Also, we use 1 egg and a cup of ice water. So we mix the egg and the water together and combine that into the flour mixture. And just mix coarsely. You're not trying to beat out all the lumps. It will be lumpy, but that's okay. Alright, now that we have the batter, we're going to start making the tempura. I'm going to start with the zucchini since it's neutral in flavor. As with all deep frying, what you'll do first is to lightly coat in flour and then dip it into the batter. And the batter has been resting in the fridge, but that's to keep the tempura batter cold. I guess that's supposed to be the secret and of making cold tempura, or crispy tempura. So now just take it over and start deep frying. Deep frying. It's a light batter. The oil's at 355. Oops. I'm not that good at chopstick using, but there you go. Frying tempura. Alright, the tempura's been cooking for about 4 or 5 minutes. Just take it out and drain on a paper towel. Also, ideally, when you deep fry tempura, you don't want to overly brown it like I did on the first batch. As you get the feel for how hot the stove is, you could cook the tempura where it's nice and light and fluffy without having to brown. Every once in a while, when you're starting to fry tempura, you're going to need to skim off the floaty bits. So you just take a fine mesh strainer and just skim out the leftover crumbs and discard. So to go along with the tempura and the buckwheat noodles, we're going to make sort of a universal dipping sauce. I'm going to use 2 cups of vegetable broth, 1/3 a cup of Mirin, which is sweet Japanese cooking rice wine, and 1/3 a cup of soy sauce. Traditionally you would use Dashi, but Dashi is harder to find, so I traditionally would substitute vegetable broth. For the dipping sauce, we first heat up the Mirin, then we add the rest of the ingredients. The chicken broth, or I'm sorry, vegetable broth, and the soy sauce. Just bring it to a boil, and you're done. Alright, for making the buckwheat noodles, they're prepared, so they cook really quick, about 4 to 5 minutes, whatever the instructions on the package say. Just drop the noodles into a pot of boiling water, 3 to 4 minutes. Alright, the finished tempura. Carrot, zucchini, mushroom, broccoli, onion, sweet potato, and green onion, served with soba noodles, the dipping sauce, and of course a bowl of rice. Thank you.